This is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For November 21st, 2025, it's the best sounding podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, episode number 127 of these things.
Wow. Maybe we'll get a good one.
Broadcasting live across 4 time zones from coast to coast, and apparently with half of Los Angeles joining us today, or at least we have 2 guests from sunny SoCal. I don't know if it's sunny down there or not. Raj said it was cold.
It's raining.
It is cold, but it is sunny.
But there'll be less
2
traffic.
guests from SoCal for, I guess we would say this is arguably the biggest rivalry segment this season. So we'll see how that goes coming up. I'm Chris Dexter. It's time for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure with the AV SuperFriends. And let's say hello to our panel of AV SuperFriends.
Hello, panel.
Sound.
Working on it.
Sound.
Our first panelist ensures that every process flows together, even when they don't. He's an assistant director of integrated workflow harmonization from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
Tuning forks. Tuning forks help harmonization.
It does.
Or is that harmony? Either way, it works.
Whatever. It works.
I thought Harmony was a AV company that got bought by somebody. Our next
they were
panelist tries
roots.
to predict disasters before they happen with mixed success. He's a senior manager for outcome anticipation and pre-failure readiness from Corvallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Mark Kolozinski.
Get ready and hold on. That's all I can tell you. Something might happen, but then again, it might not. I don't know.
Perfect.
Be ready.
Take
Just in
credit either
case.
way. Our next panelist is a, whoops. Holy smokes, I deleted the entire line there. Our next panelist is a lead coordinator of distributed asset situational awareness. Sorry. From Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry Darling. Sorry, Larry.
It's okay.
I had a whole
I don't
thing
really
like
like asset management anyway, so if it goes away, it goes away.
It was all about where stuff is supposed to be and it's not, but oh well.
Yeah.
It could be.
Our next panelist redirects plans whenever leadership needs a new direction to point at. He's a vice president for strategic opportunity realignment from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
I'm going to realign everything without strategery.
It seems to me like
Perfect.
Larry needs realigned.
Larry does. It's Friday.
And then
I'm surprised you're here, Larry.
We got 2
Here we
special
go.
guest panelists. Our first special guest, he makes sure projects keep moving forward in a vaguely motivational way. He's an executive director of cross-functional initiative Momentum from Los Angeles, California. Say hello to Mr. Joe Way.
Hey, welcome. Cross-functional moment. Yeah, going slow on the 405 freeway.
And our other special guest panelist, he designs flexible experiences that no one can actually define. He's a principal architect of modular experience enablement from Los Angeles. Say hello, Mr. Raj Singh.
That actually sounds true.
It totally does. You know, that's what we do. We make magic happen here.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
And yoga instructor.
Yeah, there you go. I totally missed that part.
That sounds like one of those fancy made-up titles you guys do out in L.A.
These are
I
all
know.
fancy made up
They're
titles.
all fancy. Yes.
All fancy.
Mr. Vice President of Strategery, whatever it was.
Junior.
So
level
on
of
today's show,
data.
we're going
You know,
to
if
discuss
we can't pay you.
cloud-connected AV, and we're going to cap off our regular season weekly rivalry series. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. So if you're listening to this as recorded MP3, and before you scatter for the great higher ed mini migration known as Thanksgiving break, and yes, we know this is the last full working week of the year where anyone kind of pretends to answer their emails. We still want you to connect with us, so please reach out, join us on the socials. We do stream every Friday live at about 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific, whenever we actually get around to it. Today, Justin was adjusting his chair, literally. So you can join us for that on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and maybe someday Blue Sky for both of you over there when they get off their butts and actually support streaming, which they don't. So both of you will have to just open up Twitter like you
it out.
normally do.
Oh, Guten Tag.
Yeah.
Did I s-
You did. You could read.
Das ist richtig.
Please follow us on the socials. Share the show with your friends, your colleagues, your sworn rivals, and that one junior technician you have who just goes in and reboots stuff before giving up. If you want to keep this nonsense rolling into the holidays, please send us a donation because that keeps us to bringing you the honest content that you hate. It's unfiltered in every way, shape, and form. So,
Gives Justin
Now,
something to do.
with that, let's get back to the show before somebody turns on an out-of-office message and we are completely gone. So, with that,
Speaking of which,
Justin will sing along to the news theme.
Live? No.
And I have to prep the news
Yeah,
Because this
is-
news is about us, sort of. In fact, it involves 2 of the 3 people on, or organizations, what do you want to call it, on the show right now.
This is a little self-absorbed.
I feel like you're
Chris.
just
This-
you're just
Yeah.
dunking
This is
on
like-
people here, Chris.
Sorry, Raj. So, but I got to get stuff ready to make this go.
Why is
like
it about us?
this?
There it is.
There's a new version of AV Buddy available,
Oh, yeah.
which is probably the coolest AV-related application, both Android and iOS. The links will be in the show notes. I do want to. Whoops, I closed more stuff here.
I've had this app for
This
I don't
app
know,
has been
10
out for
years,
a very
maybe?
long time.
Yeah,
like
it's
2012 or something like that. It's fantastic.
bought it for
is
$1.
OG.
It's vintage. It is OG for sure.
But thanks to Christopher Wright, friend of the show, who reached out and said he's coming out with a new version of this, and he wanted to kind of surprise us with some of the stuff he's doing on this. And Joe, I'm pretty sure he reached out to you as well, hopefully, or he just stole content, but I'm assuming so.
He just used the name just for the.
But he's got kind of this like there's a little calendar thing showing upcoming news things. We need to get him some more AV related things for his calendars for that. He's got some news stuff going on, which he's mainly pulling from like Commercial Integrator and AV Nation, which is a good start. But there's many more. I will send him a giant curated list of RSS feeds if he'd like.
It's our live show.
It does have a very cool kind of like breakdown of different sort of connectors as a reference point, different types of resolutions, all sorts of fun calculators in here if you want to go in and have it do some of the math that you're supposed to be able to do in your head anyway, but you don't because you cheat. You can use this to cheat because it's awesome. This will tell you how to terminate cables. It will tell you that pin 2 on an XLR is hot, and please don't think otherwise. It has all sorts of cool little tools here. I can't show it here, but like I use the test pattern thing all the freaking time because when I'm testing
Audio
stuff,
tester.
Yep, I plug my phone into our systems, USB-C, it's great. Plug that in, bring up all my resolutions. That's testing HDCP at the same time. It's a 2-for-1. Run your audio around the room. It's great. Little tab at the bottom here for news, so you can see what's going on in the news out here. And my favorite tab down here at the bottom that says podcasts. Blammo! Look at that.
Pow!
Right there at the top.
Look at the top of that list.
Boom.
Did you pay him to
That.
get us up there?
Yes.
We didn't pay him anything.
We are just that
We were
awesome.
just shocked.
I'm monitoring the bank account. I know we did not pay them anything.
It's always negative. We never.
It-
ever
it's called actually having episodes out because that's what you have to
it's called,
scroll
it's
down.
called
to
an
Yeah.
me.
RSS feed, but if we scroll down here, eventually we will
You'll
find.
eventually find me. There it is.
There it is.
There we are.
So if there's a couple options here. So he's got Joe's RSS feed for higher ed AV, which is very cool. So you can get if you need to do some testing, you're in a space, you don't have stuff loaded, just hit one of these, boom, you got the current
content.
episode of higher ed AV SuperFriends, or if you want to get some ads, you got AV Week on there too. But there's lots of options for. I'm just saying, come on.
Equal opportunity. Hey,
Lots of cool stuff
all
there.
content.
So thanks to Christopher Wright for the update on this. Like I said, links in the show notes. This is not a paid sponsor in any way, shape, or form. You heard Justin talk about it. You heard Joe talk about it. We genuinely use this application. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
It is something that everyone should have on their phone. It costs a couple of bucks. It's like $3 or $4 for it. Totally
Inflation.
Worth it. It's worth.
I got it when it was
every penny.
$1, but inflation sucks.
is this an official AVSF acknowledged product?
It is acknowledged.
We acknowledge.
Sure,
this
why
product.
not? We acknowledge this product as being very cool.
It is a
So,
product.
I need to
It's
go look
worth
for that.
Go to the What's New
probably.
page. Here's all the stuff that's new. Look at all that. All these got a little
Oh look,
fanfare
you can do
going.
confetti.
Oh, look at
That did
this.
not work great. Oh, that was in
No.
60 frames a second on my phone, but over this
Motion
stream,
on
not
that.
so much. So
I can imagine what it would have been like if you would have
yes,
seen
so you can just imagine. So there you go. So that's
was a
our news
beauty.
for this week. Link is in the show
Version
notes.
10.
Highly recommended. Everyone go out and grab that app. It's great.
Not a sponsor. Correct.
Not a
2 thumbs
sponsor.
up.
That's awesome.
Not a sponsor yet.
it. Yeah, maybe
Yet.
it will be.
I like the
No,
optimism
it is a
there.
good tool.
Anyway,
It is
yeah.
okay.
So highly recommended. Great tool to just have on your phone. So cost a couple of bucks, worth every penny.
Yeah.
All right, and with
yourself
that
honest.
said, we're going to take a quick
Said.
break. We're going to run an actual sponsored message from another company that does great work. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about putting all your stuff in the cloud.
Get
Where it
ready.
belongs.
Get ready.
The AV SuperFriends are sponsored by Computer Comforts Incorporated. CCI has been building tech furniture for the education market since 1987. Instructor lecterns, computer lab tables, collaborative tables, and active learning clusters are just a few of the many innovative products made by CCI. Speaking of lecterns, Computer Comforts has just released Evolve. If you're looking to future-proof your classroom, Evolve is the Swiss Army knife of lecterns. Seriously, this flexible lectern does it all. Not only is Evolve sit-to-stand and ADA compliant, it's also packed with tech-friendly features. And the best part, it ships fully assembled and ready for action. Check out the 90-second video to see all the options. Visit computercomforts.com/evolve.
I just love the ready for action piece. It
It
just
ships
conjures up such an
fully
image of like, this
assembled
thing
and
is
ready
ready
for action.
for action. Whatever that is, it's happening.
See what they do. And so I was talking to Frank about this. Is what they do. It's actually spring loaded. They lower it down and it latches into place. Yeah. That plastic visqueen holds it on. You take that off, it springs forth right into your classroom.
Like a jack in the box.
Like a
exactly.
jack in the box.
I don't
like
believe
to
you.
stand on it and jump off of it like a rock star.
There you go.
You can do that too.
AV in a
High
box.
ceilings.
That can do that too,
AV
Jeff.
in a box.
I'm a little person, so I
Yeah,
usually
he's
can
not
make
very
it
tall.
in an 8-foot ceiling. I'm good.
All righty. So
What do we have going on here?
for our first segment today, we want to talk about this kind of, we've been calling it cloud-connected AV. And we said, well, if we're going to talk about cloud-connected AV, we need to get some people on to talk about this. And so this is we thought this is a great opportunity to have two schools who are already doing this, as well as two rival schools in the same town who are playing football soon, and they have to kind of grin and smile at each other as they're deathly rivals here. But at the same time, we'll do some collaboration first. So we figured that the two best schools to have on for this double duty process was USC and UCLA. So Raj Singh, USC, Joe Wei from UCLA. All your stuff's on the cloud. Thanks for coming. This has been a great show. We'll see you guys next week. No, so
Congratulations.
we were talking about this on Wednesday. Like, this is a big topic,
This is a hard topic to even get into.
and how do we put a few rails around this and like even describe how we get into this concept of the process to the groups you have to work with, the advantages and disadvantages of cloud connected. So we're going to start there, I think, but probably that first question of like, when we say cloud connected, or we say like a connected campus, what does that mean?
Yeah, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, what is that? So it's Joe, Raj, I'm just going to throw a conversation grenade over there and let you guys.
I guess Joe's going first. Here we go.
I am taking over. I want to get any chance to
All right, thanks,
to
Joe.
control
Raj?
the conversation. Okay, so one clarification has to be made. We are fully cloud. USC is server based with cloud monitoring. Okay, so there's a difference where we're at. Our control is in.
I still don't know what fully cloud means.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I don't even know what that is.
So there is a slight difference. So so what we have done is done a platform that lives on AWS. We call it Craft Brewing Cloud, where the actual control system sits there, talks to everything directly. So there is no control anywhere within any of the spaces. So it has a direct connection to every device, and every device technically talks to
everything. When you say everything,
Like your projector screens do that shit, Joe?
everything that is network. I mean, as long as it's connected into the network.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything in our new space is.
Okay.
So when AWS went down,
It doesn't go down.
2 weeks ago, like
we
what
were
happened?
we were not impacted. I know, right? So we actually had two things. So here's a fun.
It sounds like you were surprised about that.
Yes, absolutely surprised. But again, when it goes down, more people are worried about everything else they don't have. They're not worried about the AV people, right? But we were still up and active, and that's because we have a shelled AWS. So I think that it was when they went down on their ways because ours was not impacted. And the same, actually, our entire campus network went down yesterday. And they were able to reroute all the internal, everything internal around through our router, and our main data center went down. They rerouted traffic. So anything that was a SaaS product in the cloud stayed. So all my classroom stayed while everything else was down. How about that?
I've gathered you have stuff pointed to the sky, and we're sky connected. Raj, he's made this claim that you're server connected to the cloud for monitoring.
Your sky isn't as good.
Your
Raj.
sky is not as high as his.
His might be smarter. Okay, let's put that.
We still haven't teased out what is it that you said you're doing here. Like we connected some things, and you have some things that are going to somebody else's computer. Okay, so now what? What are we doing?
So I think to Joe's point, yeah. So in terms of cloud services, so I want to answer Justin's question too. So at USC, everything is connected, IP connected, from screen controllers to the door locks to the security cameras to
them in there.
the encoders, decoders, our microphones, and everything that we have runs on the production IT network. And then we're using things like Zoom Cloud. We have things like DDM, VC4. Those are hosted, and where they were hosted in a server for the new iteration past year, we have uploaded them to our cloud services. So we have built them on our Azure platform. And it's worked out well. You know what I'm saying? We've tested it out. We're looking to add more of those servers up there. But the servers that we did have before were running on our data center.
Sure.
And then, and if they're running on cloud, they're running on cloud that's provisioned for USC. And every building has its own VLAN. So all the devices that exist, they can talk back to the server VLAN and talk out to the cloud services from there. You know, and the thing is that we measure, so we use things like Datadog, which is a software application that's used to measure and quantify uptime and things like that. And last year and this year, we had an uptime of 99.5% across all our spaces, whether it's a conference room, classrooms, study rooms. They're all consistent. They're all simple. We have a big saying that, you know, a simple scales and complex fails. So we try to keep things as simple and consistent as possible across the board.
What else are you doing besides green light, red light, though? Because, I mean, yeah, the stuff's on for 99% of the time, but all of us on the call might have that right now, and you all spend a crap ton of money and time building that just to tell you, yeah, that's true.
Right.
So what else can this stuff provide?
Tell them what you feel,
Right.
Justin. I mean, don't hold back.
Right.
But, I mean, because, I mean, it's like, really, what are we doing? Like, what are our goals with this? It's like, yeah, the stuff's online, but is it successful or not?
What questions were you asking prior to this?
Right. So I think that's a good question, Justin. So in terms of
Thank you, Raj.
yeah, I mean, green light, red light is very
Get that a
rudimentary,
lot,
right?
yeah.
So with using applications like Datadog, we're able to go all the way down to application level, thread level in the UC engines that we have. So let's say if we have an IMAX room that's deployed, which is a Sure DSP in our spaces, or it could be QSC, we have BIAM. If we want to monitor everything down to what process is causing an issue on a certain device, we're able to look that up and see and drive that from there.
Can you like see levels per channel through this, or do you have to pull up the associated manufacturer software still to do that?
So we have a large DDM deployment. So for Odney, so we're able to query the API using our dashboards from Datadog. So yes, we can see levels of channel. But the thing is, though, you can make it as complex as you want it to be. So we have different tiers of that, right? So for a help desk, it's basic. We want them to see there's a problem, there's an issue, if it's green or red, if the systems are on or off, like projectors are online as well too. They're tied into that as well too. If they want to power it on, they can. Our engineers want to see a much higher level of detail when they want to see these things. Like to your point, like what channels are being impacted, what streams are being affected by that. So those kind of things we're able to leverage. And these are tools that, again, exist within the industry, within the broader IT industry. So we're not, you know, recreating the wheel or anything like that, or reinventing the wheel. We're adopting standards that are already pre-existing and trying to drive that as much as we can. And it's worked well for us. Like, and again, we run a large deployment across, you know, our athletic facility, our spaces, because we manage the central tenant for all of them. Our hospital side, you know what I'm saying, with Keck Hospital and things like that. These are high availability, high operational spaces that need a lot of uptime and quick response time. So a lot of times we're preempting these things rather than reacting to it. As an example, if we're scripting things to check things in the morning, what can we do to preempt them using tools like this? And being able to see something like, you know, there's a lot of errors that our projectors generate. Most people never know about it because they're not online. We have been able to query those and be able to drive change with the manufacturer partners, where there's lamp errors, filter errors that they were throwing out. We can kind of see, okay, in terms of if the filters are getting clogged up, the error rates kind of go up. So we can predict, okay, when they need to be cleaned out, when something needs to be replaced. Occupancy, we're doing a lot of things with regards to, you know, building AI capability into that. But the first step is to build everything out online where we can take action against that.
So this is maybe, this is maybe a question for both of you, but how many times or how often do you see red lights? And kind of going back, I'm going to nitpick a little bit on this stuff, if you haven't noticed. But you just said that you were using your system that you built to help manufacturers with their problems, right? Did I understand that right? So how many times does the red light show up and you get false errors when it's not an actual problem because that projector's still working? And how do you decipher if it's a true problem or not? Do you just dive deeper into the data before you send someone, or do you what does that look like?
They send robots. They have robots. There's no people in this now.
Like your Skycam overlords,
all the robots go.
Yeah.
But no, that was a big problem we had, where before they would be like, okay, the system has failed 9 times out of 10, we rebooted it, fixes it. Well, we're like, that doesn't address the problem. So that's an incident that happened. How do we address the problem?
And is it really a problem if it's still operational and the faculty and the students are still learning and using the system, right?
Right. So 2 things, right? Yes. So anytime if it's non-operational, let's say if it's frozen or something, that's an issue. But we have encountered issues where, okay, it's throwing out an error where, let's say, a fan is failing, and then it will fail at some point of time, but at least we're able to see it and address it. A lot of times the errors that were showing up, like phosphorus wheel errors and things like that with laser projectors, those are unique errors that if you're not tied into the network and using the tools that the manufacturers provide, and you're archiving them and querying them and putting it into like a spreadsheet or something like that, and you're tracking them, and because everything is registered on the network, there's a name, there's a full-on host name associated with that, so we know exactly what room those errors are being thrown out from. So that way, at least we can address them. And it has been true. There's a lot of issues that we have brought to fold, not just like projectors, one example. Our microphones is another example. Zoom is another example. We work closely. We meet with them weekly. We provide them feedback in terms of issues that we face, problems we've encountered with things like Dante, NDI, or anything else like that. A lot of times they're like, well, we never heard it before, but we're like, how many of you guys have 400 rooms, classrooms scaled out, fully online to see that type of effect, right? So that way we have a large ordinate deployment with Dante. So a lot of times we are a test bed to be used for a lot of things that they're doing. Because even they haven't seen a lot of that interactions.
At that scale, yeah.
Well, I would just like to take a moment before another question's asked to thank UCLA and USC to be our guinea pigs in the industry for all universities and catch all these problems and errors.
Proud to do
so when we buy all the shit,
Yeah.
it actually works on our campus, right?
You know-
so thank you.
This will not
Thank you.
work. on
Yeah, that's
WK
great.
Yeah,
campus.
you know-
No, yeah.
There's I think this is multifaceted. Raj, I think you're speaking really well to the response, the triage, the support, the proactive nature. You are actively replacing the audio with automation in the AV. So I believe it is automation and virtualization. Thank you for clarifying that as we move forward in AV. And so, but Joe, we've had some conversations around what your strategy is, and that I think looks and feels different than what Raj has just laid out. Could give me your
Absolutely.
strategy and what that is.
Yeah, and people can listen back to the AV SuperFriends episode from NWMet where we had this conversation. And so, but let me give everyone the too long didn't read. But I do want to double click down on something that Raj said first to recognize, like,
Wait, did you just say double click down? What is that nonsense?
I'm now a corporate guy, right?
What are we streets
I'm
ahead?
a student now.
I don't even know what that means.
Can
Reference.
we put a pin
to-
in this and move on to the next bucket?
I'd
so
like
that
to
we come
dovetail
full
off of that
circle?
and go into this.
I'd like to really open the kimono here and get into this. So.
Oh, don't you ever open a kimono in front of me.
Because he'll double click down.
Sounds dirty.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes. So
Sorry to derail, but
while Raj said something is, again, they like USC has the second largest Dante deployment in the world. Okay, so being at that scale allows things like USC to really partner with manufacturers in a way that no other one can, right? And it was that kind of idea, like as I moved from USC over to UCLA, we just ask a slightly different question, which is why we came up with a platform. So the difference is we have a platform that lives, and we kind of built it along with our partner, PlaceOS, that we kind of built in so that everything is an aggregator of systems. So going back to Justin said, well, do you have to go to all your different manufacturer web, like monitoring platforms, whatever, to watch it. No, because we pull their platforms in to our system and we aggregate what we want. So it's a little different way of doing it. And we have the customized dashboard to everything something can put out, which is what we've done as well with one of the main manufacturers, who didn't even have the right way of getting all the information from their stuff. And one of our programmers, Nick, kind of went with them and said, here's, let me build this for you so that you can feed us the information we want. Right. And your device can feed it straight up into the cloud. And what we did, though, is we started with kind of looking at the student experience first. We didn't plan to end up where we are. In fact, everyone was very shocked who won our RFP. No one had ever heard of the company, right? And the reason they won is we started with, okay, what does a day in the life of a student look like? They get up, rather than just saying, okay, classrooms. All right. And I'm not going to put a wall around my classroom, right? As far as my job scope, because also my job scope is all AV across the entire enterprise, regardless of what it's used for. Right. And so it's like, okay, when they wake up, what do they do? Where do they go? We track it. What are this? And we ended up finding out that they use somewhere around 50 different campus systems in the course of that day. So if we really want to say we're going to create a holistic student experience, why are we walling off our classroom or our conference room experience? And how can we now integrate that together into full, campus and building management? How can we work it in with their Bruin card for, which is now app-based, right? For buying their coffee. How can we work this with our ticketing systems and our digital signage? We started looking at all of the things that work in the course of their day. And can we take all of those systems and aggregate it? Truly having something that is, non-proprietary, doesn't matter what manufacturer we use. Even if on certain hardwares we are going to standardize on one, we'll standardize only because it's easier to support it, not because we have to have the features of that, because they all do the same stuff. Right. And so we can pull all that together so that the student now and or the building and our facilities and everyone can have the data that they want, and we can have the control we want, and we can use that information, which we're already feeding, like to our registrar's office and going, here's your underutilization of spaces. How do I know? I've got 4 different ways of telling you the occupancy and uses of that classroom right now from 4 different systems. And I can aggregate those and actually tell you how people are doing it. I can tell you the traffic flow down the hallways based on every time an automatic light turns on. Right. And so I'm going beyond the classroom into actually being able to create a sustainable smart campus. Oh, and by the way, there happens to be AV control involved. Right.
It's like the little thing. That's the little thing, right?
It literally is one of a line of 50 things we have. Right. But what it's also done, though, and I think that can't be overlooked, that AV is the eyes, ears, hearing of every other system on campus. Everything comes through us in some form or another.
Yep.
And that's where we're, and I'm blessed. I've got an incredible boss, an incredible leadership. Thank you, USC, for letting us all come over.
I think that's called thievery.
With that mentality, right? With that mentality of how can we do better for the campus and do this and start creating the sustainable spaces and the sustainable campus, which then we have a lot of things. Now we talk about AI and our chief AI data and AI officer who we're working with. We've got pilot plans going with self-healing rooms, right? Things that update the firmware without it. We'll do a test on it'll test it, and then it will do it if it passes the test. Like it's like crazy stuff, So yeah, that's why we do it.
It's really that correlation. We have lots of sensors, lots of data. It needs to be on a network of some sort. We have a little bit across, some of it maybe some on-prem, maybe it'll be full cloud, wherever that is. But we're really talking about those relationships and those cross points and the correlations of the data to be able to make informed decision, right? And change what is possible. And some of that is probably a really sticky and tricky conversation because you're going to have insights to somebody else's domain and vice versa, right? You're gonna see like data from an organization that maybe they didn't know you were going to see. And so it starts to really have this, who's at the table when we start to think about these types of systems, because this is purely not a pure AV thing. And even Raj, this is a massive network thing that somebody who comes from like the 4 walls of the AV in the classroom, that's all I want to do. How does this even pertain? And where the hell do I even begin? Like, what's the foothold to say who should be at this conversation?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. As far as Mark, I mean, what we're fortunate at USC where same thing like Joe, we're a little bit different where we kind of manage the space. So everything within the space is our responsibility. So we're able to curate a very holistic experience for the students, because from the furniture to things like occupancy, lighting, we're getting a lot of that. We're driving the budget for it, the facilities. So in terms of, who needs to be at the table, I mean, there's a lot of different folks. One way that we've been able to do it, because again, a registrar is not under us or facility is not under us, but we're able to drive change through execution, number one. And when we started, I mean, we had a very good example in terms of what we're doing before the adoption happened across campus with all different groups, because we are a federated model where we're not all the groups are not under central IT. Athletics, it's its own group, law school, Marshall, which is a business school. But what we have done is we have created such an exemplary model where majority of them have adopted it, because we've done that heavy lifting for them, where the network capabilities and the network approval, security approvals are already in place. Whereas the question for them, it's not a question of why they should do it, it's a question of why they should not do it at that point, because everything is in place in terms of procurement, finance, facilities. Our registrar's office already is working with all the different groups, so scheduling we're able to pull in from there into our calendaring system. And I think the big goal for us, and I'm a big believer in that, is that, our partners and a lot of groups that you talked about, Mark, are overwhelmed. So what can we do to reduce cognitive load for them? And having an example like this, they're like, okay, it's working at scale, it's working well. They go ahead and make that as their standard as well. And we use that same model in terms of when we look at, to your point about the data points, right? There's an interconnect. There's a lot that's going on. So where we want to use tools like AI and stuff like that is, again, that automation, to Joe's point, of self-healing systems. Again, we want to reduce the cognitive load of our team. A lot of times they have to script these things, look at these things, because I was telling my team, I'm like, my goal is not, I want a good experience for our faculty and students. And then the second thing is, I'm not interested in the ticket creation process. I'm more interested in the ticket elimination process. What can we do to eliminate tickets before they happen?
Eliminate problems, not tickets. Eliminate problems.
Exactly. We need to eliminate problems. Exactly. So before they become tickets,
nothing's a problem.
Tickets are the result of problems.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, you're right. Yeah. So our goal is
I'm just messing with you, Raj.
No, it's just fine. But things like, if 9 times out of 10 something can be fixed, like with a camera being rebooted, let's make sure everything's connected to PDU, and then we can do that remotely. Right now we have to script those. Why can't we just do it remotely from a centralized location? Same thing, like, we manage the lock and unlock schedule for our classroom spaces. It's a manual process. Somebody has to go and figure that out. Okay, when is the class schedule? When is it closed? How can we automate that? We already have the calendar events on it. So we push that automatically from a centralized location, and that way we can do it. And it's one less problem that happens. It's one less phone call. It's one less reactive thing that we have to do. We have a small team, and we have to make sure that we're scaling out their capabilities. And to things like being cloud-based, IP-enabled, you can do things like what Joe brought up is like firmware upgrades. You know what I'm saying? We have the concept of pre-production room where we test things out. We make sure it's validated for a period of 2 to 3 weeks before it gets pushed out. But when it gets pushed out, it's pushed out at scale. Then we know, okay, then it's been tested. We don't have to go room to room. Even something as simple as like camera firmware upgrades. I mean, we don't have bandwidth to bring ladders to 300 rooms and get on there and do a firmware push. So I think that's where having something IP-enabled, cloud-enabled is of advantage to us, because we can react much, much quicker. And we can build services on top of that, because we have standardized a huge base across the way that we can build services on top of.
Were you ever asked to quantify this as part of an actual business strategy?
Yes. I mean, so in terms of when we started, and Joe knows this, when we were at USC together, I mean, our goal with the central IT was to go IP first and cloud always for everything that we're doing. We were both brought in as part of the digital transformation. And so the idea was already very well established as a baseline. and then we kind of executed on that moving forward. Once we had a certain amount of rooms and one building in place, and that's one thing I always tell people, the scale out is actually very easy once you get a certain amount of rooms in place, because you've already taken care of everything that needs to be done from a cloud, from a security, from a network perspective. Then you can scale out much easier. From a business standpoint, we did understand that, there were redundant connection points. So like with traditional AV having a whole set of cabling pathways and traditional IT having a whole set of cabling pathways, we've reduced that tremendously. One thing that we've seen a lot, our technology footprint has gone down tremendously. Our auditoriums have these big rooms in the back that are completely empty right now. We use them for storage. Everything that we have sits on our credentials or our tables. Same thing Joe can attest that to on his end as well too. I think that's been the big surprise for us, is the idea that, when you go to something cloud-based, you go to something IP-based, your footprint is going down. So it kind of feeds into a lot of things like sustainability. It feeds into observability. I mean, a security team can see what we have connected, where before AV was a group on campus that nobody knew what they were doing. Half the time our CIO was like, okay, they're just the projector people.
They don't know what we're doing.
I know. They still
That's how we get paid, Raj. Come on.
I know. I'm trying to give away the secrets,
We're trying to be wizards here, and you're opening up the book.
Well, I think that's a good thing to kind of tease out a little bit, right? And I think, and Joe, you mentioned this a little bit, right? And that the eyes and the ears and the data gathering piece. And I think a lot of folks in AV and looking out at the landscape, no matter what you're doing, they may not understand like how that skill set correlates to this, right? And so I think Justin, you and I have gone back and forth, and we've gotten to battle around like, oh, you're delivering for human. Oh no, I'm delivering for machine. And understanding that difference of like the data path in there, and Justin, you and I have had some heated debates around this. And so, Joe, I want you to kind of tease that out. And like, did you have that as kind of this nascent ability? And if you didn't, was there a consortium that helped you out in that? Like, where did you go to kind of build out this new skill? Because this is not going to be just natively hanging out in an AV specialist back pocket.
Yeah, great question. You should host a show one time.
I'm not tall enough.
This is great. You make a great point, because I get this a lot, and people say, should I do this on my campus? And my first response is no, probably not. Like, I believe in it, but I would not pull this off if I didn't have Chi and his team. Right? They're the people that are much smarter than me who know this, and we brought in very, very, very specific people, and who we recruited. We're knowing. Again, we went through the exercise of what do we want to have? Where do we go through? And then go, okay, what are the skills we need? And we have only two ways of doing it. Working with that department that has the skill, but then again, they don't know how to speak us, right? And then, or hire the person where the skill gap is missing, but also somebody who knows how to speak to that team. And so our entire solutions team of, I think it's 5 underneath Chi, are the ones who actually, can pull this together because they understand the wider thing. I will say that most can't and shouldn't, unless you can put all the resources behind it, right? Because or rely on a manufacturer and pay the money for it. But if you want to be able to do it and have it speak to yourself, you have to build that coalition of the willing, right?
Yeah, I think you.
How does that look different though? I mean, you have your normal AV support folks, I understand, but also these folks. How much different are they than the rest of us nerds on this call? I mean, what kind of if we wanted to go down this track, we're putting together a business plan to go to our leadership and sell them the UCLA, USC, the SoCal way. What kind of people are we looking for?
I will tell you that's a good.
And how can I get Chi to come to Kansas City?
You can't, because I will always
lots of barbecue.
I will always overbid. I ain't stupid.
I'll text him right now.
That's it. I'm calling him.
Yeah, he's in Japan right now. He's sleeping. Leave him alone.
We're gonna get him a raise. Hold on.
Here's the thing is. One, you have to just write your job descriptions. So these are the things I want. Like when I'm on in calls with his team, and like when we have, I don't know, Nick or Kenny or Rodrigo sitting there on these calls with manufacturers and with a thing, they're saying crap I've never heard in my life. Like I wouldn't even think to say, when someone says something, the manufacturer goes, and then you go, no, actually your code to blah, blah, blah says this and this and this, and you don't do this. And here's what you want to do. I'm going, okay, well, that's why the guy owns 6 patents with Zoom, right? Because that's smart. He actually is the one who told them how to stream and how to do direct from camera to cloud. And so it was like, it's just crazy stuff. I'm not answering your question. I'm just going to keep talking until I sound like I've said enough.
Well,
but
like what skill sets were you looking for? Were you looking for a true back-end developer? Were you looking for what kind of skill sets would we write a thing for?
Full
Maybe
stack
not exactly.
API.
Raj always uses full stack. Like that's Raj's term. We want to build full stack. That being said, we have very specific skill sets within that, knowing where it was going to go. And honestly, it just goes to the recruiting process, and also our recruiting process also had people on the panels who would be from our infrastructure team or our cloud team or our whatever team, so that we could actually get that put in, depending upon who we were trying to hire. And that's not even just Cheese team. We have our entire application administration team that under our Brewing Cast, which is our live streaming and all that, with specialists who, our manager there was the one who launched Pluto TV, right? Guy knows how to do web streaming, right? Let's bring that skill set in. So
do you get pushed when you do this? Do you get pushback of that's a duplication of service? We already have this person. We already have that person. We already have this. What kind of, for instance, okay, if I look at my example, right? Like I want to get a more network centric employee. But we also have, and I have a really great relationship to our network administrators, but I kind of want one too. Oh, that's a duplication of services. That's an extra salary. So I know it's a leadership thing. But how do you sell that? Or did you get pushback? How did you navigate that leadership problem?
No, we did not, because it came from, it's straight from our leadership's belief. But here's why we don't, because what we do is we have a very robust communities of practice on our campus. So, and within our IT group, so that anyone, and I'll use like Hunter, who works for me, my product manager, every vertical in the IT department has a product manager, and they have their own community of practice where they get together and make sure that the product that is IT is all congruent, right? And we're not doing things. So the same thing, my network admins or that, right, have their own community of practice that lives and it's guided by the infrastructure team, right? But it's those people that live within other subunits across campus then work that, so that everybody's staying on the same page. We are not doing duplication of services. There is a hierarchy of decisions being made, but it's also us going, well, we also need this. Like we're doing an entire full, network unification across our campus. There's like 40 different networks. There should be one. We're going to do it. So we're in the process of that. On it, she sits on that committee, right? So we can say, here's when you're designing, here's what we need, with also somebody else from film or someone from high performance computing have someone there who's going to have to deal with the day to day. So I think it's going from the top and saying, we need every voice in the room who's impacted by this service in some way. Again, level of decision making. When it comes to the AV, we have tons of people across our campus who live underneath my group. I have a higher level of decision making, but I also get their voices because there are other groups I don't understand, right? You get the random Res Life. I don't know that you don't know until you have them in the room that Res Life runs a film night every, Saturday at 2 a.m. and they need XYZ, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Until you know that, right? So it's bringing those things together and making sure. So to go full circle, building out communities of practice. And I think you never lose. Even if your campus doesn't do it, here's advice for everybody. Start it yourself. Say, I want to start an AV community of practice. I want to find everybody who impacts me and get a group together. Because you know what comes once you do that? Governance. And once you have governance, you get, so I want to say, I don't like the word power, but you get the ability to start to drive and guide your direction that you want to go. And Raj has that exact same thing.
Yeah. I just cowboy it.
Well, there's truth in that, though. I think there's a lot of organizations and a lot of like smaller, maybe smaller enterprises that they find themselves in that conversation where it's like, oh, I gotta get this whole PD for these services and all this stuff without ever stopping and asking like, well, what capabilities exist here right now? And be willing to look across the organization, across all the pillars of success and all those things, and say, that person has some skill set that I need to use, and I need to get them engaged in these conversations. So how do we, we have to go out and shop for capabilities that exist and have a really good snapshot, because it's bigger than any one piece that's going to be able to do it. And I think that's kind of building those coalitions, as you mentioned, are really important. But that's not a skill and muscle that a lot of folks have, right? They have to learn to be able to step outside of their, if it's an academic technology domain or like an AV group or whatever that is, like they have to say, hey, this is an IT thing, and what capabilities and skill sets exist in IT to be able to start to build out this larger strategy. And I think it is a much harder and difficult conversation than people may have been hired in to just do one specific thing.
On that too, and then I think Raj might be able to add to this, because I'm going to say 2 examples. I'll especially take your network infrastructure team, because I know a lot of them go, oh, they won't listen, they don't want this on my network, whatever. You know that they always have the projects that never get the glory. Like our stuff is seen, right? It gets case studies. It gets us. No one cares about the network being, thrown around and all that stuff. So when you bring them in, it's amazing how they feel like, oh, you're empowering me to be here. You're going to call my name out in the midst of our team meeting because of the help I did by doing this. It's amazing when you start doing that, you pull it together. And Raj has a great example of his connection with facilities, right? With the registrar's office, the facilities, from the furniture, how they help and they guide the furniture. Now they're not buying it and the ones having to do it. Like there's a great relationship of the key people. And now that buy-in, that's how things were able to get done. I don't know. There, Raj.
Yeah, no, I think Joe's point is great. I think one big thing, at least at UCLA and USC, is we have strong teams. And going back to your question, Jamie, is the fact that we're only going to be as successful as our team members. End of the day. So how do you bring in these new ideas and new concepts, right? In terms of one thing. And Joe knows this because he does a lot of this. We look for is inquisitive minds, willingness to learn, being able to adapt, because a lot of it is going to be a challenge. It's not going to be straightforward. It is going to require a mindset shift across, like in terms of what you're doing, how you're doing it. The other thing is that, when you look at ideas that we're looking at right now, and skill set that we look at as well, too. I mean, there's a diversity of skill set. I mean, same thing for us. I mean, I had to hire a lot of new folks, when they transitioned out. And when I was looking at it, I mean, some folks had background in avionics. I mean, they'd done some AV in the past, They had an innate understanding of IP streaming and cloud and things like that. The reseller side, our integration partners, our manufacturer partners, we've hired from them. So having that understanding of different viewpoints and being able to bring that in, and then seeing where we lack, Of course, there's a lot of things. One thing that I think, and both Joe and I have talked a lot about this, is the mind shift that we had to do with a lot of our team members, because traditionally AV is a bottom-up approach. Everyone in AV is like, I have a room, I have an equipment, how do I connect this? Where traditional IT is a very top-down approach. When our CIOs are looking at an organization, they're looking at it organization-wide. So having that conversation with a team when you're building something, don't just think about the room. I mean, you're building this for an enterprise organization. You have other stakeholders like, the security team, the infrastructure team, the network team, the application team, the UC team that's running the Zoom. There's our customers then with the, registrars or facilities or the academic side. So think that and keep that in mind when you're building systems. And I think that's when they start thinking that way. Okay, well, if I do this, then how does that impact this? If I put this on a network here, then I can scale out much further. If I'm looking at standards, what type of standards they are, That's absolutely right. It's avionics, that's how AV is there. But
quintessential
I think
AV.
thing, just the experiences and the mindset shift is very important, and being willing to adopt new things because change is tough.
All right. Well, I hate to use another bit of Silicon Valley speak, but we have to put a pin in this.
This is going to be a long conversation. Yes.
We're not going to be able to solve this in the next 30 to 40 minutes, but it'll take like at least an hour. and then we'll be
We can circle back on it.
let's circle back.
Circle back on it. Yeah, I have
review
a feeling
this.
that in the next year, AV SuperFriends is going to be hosting a lot of this conversation around connected and AV and AI and all this stuff. Because
Stop shoving AI in there.
Sorry,
wild. No, you have to.
OpenAV is coming. OpenAV is coming.
OpenAV
and it's
doesn't
here,
exist.
and that's
Yeah,
going
but I
to-
think
No.
that's
because
the
it's so sticky and messy, it makes for fascinating conversation. And as we've seen today, Raj and Joe, you each have these like connected versions of campus that have maybe started and set out to do one specific things. And it's like, as everything grows and all the consortiums are built and all that story starts to unfold, you start to have insight that is much greater than maybe you started off with. And I think that's the beauty of what we're looking at as we set out to like build all these different opportunities across all of our campuses. Is like, my guess is this story will be multifaceted, and we're going to learn different things that we never expected. And certain schools are going to come to the table with a whole different level of insight. I can only speak for what we're doing. We're really trying to lean into the AI and the forecasting and the life cycle management of all this stuff. And that's our reasoning for wanting to get things connected. And our story looks radically different than the university down the street. And so I think more voices will come up in this conversation. I'm fascinated and look forward to kind of continuing to see what comes to be in this very conversation over the next year or two.
And I'm going to back up Justin and say I'm going to wait till the end and then just wait for you guys to get it all figured out, and then I'll do that. So
It's way less headaches. It's just so much
I will try to
easier.
retire.
Before that
Or
happens.
that. You could do that too.
There's a lot of
Same.
that out there too. There's a lot of fear.
But one thing I
Not
want to add,
fear.
Mark,
Good.
what you're saying is
That's
the
how
fact
long it's
that,
going to take.
to your point, Mark, as far as things being connected. So I always tell my team, and also like what we do as a team at USC for learning environments, I always tell people we're cloud to ground. So everything from the cloud all the way to the carpets, that's our responsibility. When you talk
But not
about
the floor
AI,
boxes. Floor boxes under carpet. Someone else's problem.
there you go. Well, right,
He said cloud
exactly.
to ground. Floor box is
Cloud
on
to
the
ground.
carpet.
He said carpet a minute ago. Wait, did you guys carpet?
There
You need to call
Well,
it
that's
sub
an
basement.
example I give,
Sub basement
you know.
to the cloud. Raj.
There you go.
That's your new term.
The ground right there, everything right there.
I
And
do
actually,
like
that's a good
that.
point. Raj, your
I
office,
really like that though, cloud to ground. That does make a lot of sense. I like it.
It
and
is.
it's worth
But
pointing out, Raj, your office is actually in a basement, so you're
it
familiar
is.
with that sort
So
of
we are
environment.
definitely in the ground. But I think the big thing is that, when you talk about AI, people talk about AI in the cloud. We want those AI applications to be on the ground. Like, what are we doing with AI that's impacting day to day? You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to measure. We see, I've been to EDUCAUSE, Infocom, there's big talk about AI, but it's very nebulous in terms of what is the real world impact for us? Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's impacting me in the room on an everyday basis. And those are the kind of things that for my team, I'm telling them that's what we need to focus on end of the day. There's a lot of things we can do about data and things that we're doing, but that doesn't translate into real world examples.
All right, Chris.
Well, and to your point there, Raj, I think it's worth noting that, for as far as those real world examples, it's worth noting that ChatGPT, which was like this new generation of large language models, which really kind of kickstarted this current revolution in thinking, processing, however you want to phrase that, just turned 3 years old this month. So if we've had this amount of stuff happen in just 3 years, where are we going to be in another 2 or 3 years? So it'll be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys in general, and I appreciate this, Raj and Joe, you've been very complimentary of each other. You've been very even-handed. You've been very friendly.
Enough of that.
Enough of that.
Yeah,
Let's
stop
change
that.
that up.
Glove's got to come off now.
We're going to roll right into our big rivalry here between UCLA and USC and the Crosstown Cup, which I guess periodically changes its name. I think this year is actually the Uncle Steve's Bait Shop and Lawn Service
Connected
Crosstown
Cloud
Cup.
Emporium. Yeah.
It's not we won our $2 billion from the Big Ten Cup. Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Could be Big Ten. So anyway, so let's roll right into that. Let me get this stuff going here. Where's this thing?
Hold on.
Everyone hold on to your butts. And yes, Larry, this does take 2 minutes, so cool it.
It does.
All right. In Los Angeles, a city that lives on the screens big and small, there's only one showdown that can divide every city block from Santa Monica to South Central. This is the Crosstown Collision where everything is on the line. Bragging rights, the victory bell, and the title of LA's top-tier AV and IT powerhouse. Because when UCLA and USC square off, It's not just football fans who feel the tension. It's classroom technicians, network architects, systems engineers, AV designers, and the folks who keep hundreds of learning spaces online while the rest of the city sleeps. This is the battle behind the battle. On the UCLA side, the Bruins bring a squad known all across Westwood for ironclad reliability and big campus efficiency. These technology pros run a network that spans hills to hospitals, labs to lecture halls, and enough AV gear to outfit a small nation. UCLA brings strength, speed, and a reputation for engineering excellence that reaches from Sunset Boulevard to the shadows of Pauley Pavilion. But across the 10 freeway, in the heart of downtown, USC counters with Hollywood-level polish and a technology infrastructure that doesn't flinch. The Trojans' AV and IT teams bring cinematic storytelling to their teaching spaces, strategic discipline to their networks, and a don't blink or you'll miss it tempo to their upgrades. They operate like a studio post-production crew, smooth, practiced, and dialed in. If UCLA is engineering perfection, then USC is production excellence. And today, these two teams, the best in SoCal, collide under the bright lights of Memorial Coliseum. In a city built on rivalries, this one just hits different. This is UCLA. This is USC. This is the crosstown rivalry. And today, the AV and IT teams take center stage. Let's kick this thing off.
Welcome back to the Memorial Coliseum, folks. We are just moments away from kickoff in one of college football's fiercest crosstown showdowns. And yes, we've talked plenty about the players, the coaches, and the victory bell, whatever that is. But today, the real matchup might be happening behind the scenes. That's UCLA's elite AV-IT team versus USC's powerhouse AV and networking crew.
Yeah, look, you can't win a rivalry game without a good offensive line, but you definitely can't win finals week without an uptime. And UCLA's team, they've been rock solid all season. They're the kind of crew that tests a firmware update like it's a trick play on 4th and inches.
Sure, but USC's got something UCLA doesn't. That Hollywood shine. They roll out classroom installs like movie premieres. Everything's polished, everything's branded, everything's signals path is dressed like it's about to walk down the red carpet. You want cinematic hybrid learning? USC delivers it with Hollywood flourish.
Yeah, but can they troubleshoot a failing network switch at 7:59 a.m.? The Bruins have grit, man. They thrive in chaos.
Chaos, come on. USC's got a philosophy. We don't do chaos. Their monitoring dashboards look like NASA mission control. If a single beamforming mic sneezes wrong, they'll know before the professor does.
All right. Let's settle this by heading down to the field. Our sideline reporter is standing by near the victory bell with an update on both tech crews as we get ready for kickoff.
My
Justin,
mic's
you wanna try-
muted.
no,
Sideline,
there you go.
sideline, mic's muted. We have production problems. I'm the sideline reporter. Hello, everybody. My name's Justin Rexing. Guys, I'm down here on the field, and the atmosphere is electric. So are the AV teams. And guys, again, between you and me, that victory bell thing that Larry was talking about is just sitting a few feet away, polished, guarded, and surrounded by enough cabling to run a Super Bowl halftime show. Each team's AV folks have been eyeing it like they're the ones about to play for it. Let's go to the kickoff. Was that better?
Was
that
adequate.
better?
You want to do it again?
I could do it again.
No, we're not gonna do
We
it.
want to
We're gonna
re-roll
go-
it?
we're gonna
Let's go to the game. All right.
All right, guys, we are here, and this is it's been a minute since we've done this, but the way this is going to work, I'll be down here on the field officiating this with you all, and it is typical football-ish format. We will have 4 quarters of play. The first 2, we'll do a quick halftime, and we'll get into the last, and the last one's going to be a rapid-fire one in that 4th quarter when we get there. Chris is going to be keeping score. We have the AV SuperFriends will be calling out questions when I come to them, and it is a bit of a timed affair. We want quick rapid-fire answers when we can get them, and we'll have a chance to rebuttal and retort, however you want to do that. But to get going, Joe, since you have traveled all the way across town for this affair, we are going to flip the AV SuperFriends coin. You're going to call it in the air to see if you're going to get a question first or who's going to get the choice of how they want to play this. So here it comes. Call it in the air, my friend.
Heads.
It is tails. Raj, we're coming to you. Do you want the question, or do you want to kick it back over to Mr. Joe Way?
Sure, I'll take the question.
Taking the question. All right.
First.
Here we go. Larry, we're coming to you for our very first question. What do you got? Pull it out of the hat. Let's get it going.
Awesome, because I'm kind of a non-believer in the whole everything's connected to the cloud. So I want to know how many of your classrooms are actually up to that spec and how many are just running on prayers and paper clips?
So
5-wire BNC is what that means.
BNC.
Yeah. It's,
We're going to bring analog back,
we should.
As far as everything that we manage, which is my team, learning environments, 100% is on the network, cloud services. It's using all the latest and greatest technologies, and any room you walk into is consistent and exactly the same. Now, we do have certain departmental spaces that might not be up to spec, and they do have traditional, projection with a home run going to that as well. But usually those are non-academic facing classroom spaces. Most classroom spaces, especially during the pandemic at USC, were upgraded with some type of hybrid teaching and learning. So I would want to say that we're better than most, and at least spaces that we control and manage, those are at 100% right now.
What kind of numbers are we talking here, Raj? Give me a number and a ratio. Like you oversee X amount of rooms. How many may not be under your
At least
your
8.
guidance?
Yeah, so it's about 300 classrooms, so classrooms, auditoriums, and then about 200 conference room. And then we have another, let's say, 300 to 400 spaces, like conference room, classroom spaces across campus. So I would say we're at half the campus, and the rest of the campus that's not under us, they have adopted a level of the same standard. So as an example, like our College of Letters and Arts, even though they don't, they have labs under them, we have classes under us. So the labs are using the exact same classroom standard that we have, all the way down to the credenza and everything else. Because at some level, our team understands that, when they go into the spaces, they want a consistent user experience. An example of that also could be like we work closely with athletics or auxiliary teams or our dorms. I mean, they have started standardized on our model as well, too, at this point. In spaces that they manage, the hotel as well. So yeah, if it's a hard number that you're looking at, I would say about 50% of the spaces under us are at 100% same capability, and the rest of the campus, I would say they're about 80% based on spaces that they have that are hybrid right now.
Okay, Larry, that was a long answer. It took almost a whole quarter. How are you going to score that, sir?
I think that's a 7. That was more than I expected, and it seems like you've put the groundwork in place that it makes the departments, it gives them an easier path to follow suit.
Right? Ground to cloud.
Yeah, that's a touchdown.
Ground to cloud.
Touchdown. Okay, so there is enough time on this clock. We're going to bring it back over. Joe, you're going to get a chance to have a drive here. We're not going to start this clock yet for the second. So, Joe, I want you to answer that question in the same way, because he was all running game there. He just was grinding that clock down on you.
First quarter drive. Yeah. So
Big Ten football.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do something Raj didn't, and I'm actually going to give you a number. Okay. That was the question.
He's not going to BS us. Yeah.
He kind of worked around all the ones that are under us. Okay. Yeah. That's not a number. Okay.
Gloves off.
Well, I mean,
Let's go.
If you're paying attention to the question, you got to know how to answer it. And our number is actually easy to say because it's 10. Okay, we have 10 that are fully in the cloud because we are on phase 1 of a pilot. Obviously, with what we are taking on is quite a big deal, and we didn't know exactly what we were going to find. So everything that we're doing is trying to centralize on that and understanding that we're looking this different. And my scope is I am all AV across the enterprise, right? So I have all live events, all the general use classrooms. We're in the process of a central consolidation. So while our spaces, I'm looking this in the sense there's 1,420 something spaces, right, that we need to scale this to. So we are starting with phase 1, making sure that everything is in place and works the way we know it needs to work. This next summer, we are phasing out again in a larger scope, actually just different use cases. So we're keeping it and finding everybody You know what? All right. Should I hit a 3-point? I guess that would be
The first rule of holes, Joe, is when you're in a hole, stop digging.
That was great. Oh my gosh, that was. I almost do deserve a dock point for that. That was fantastic. Or could I just give the point to him? All right. No. But the thing is now as we scale out, as we start to scale, and we're finding now different use cases. Who are the other customers that we're going to have to scale to? And let's now make sure phase 2 of this fits those customers.
So is phase 2 5, 10, or 50? Or is it 100?
I'm calling a tight game here.
and then we're going to go to the 1400. But we're bringing in the services like the digital signage into it. We're bringing in the security into it. We're bringing in the other layers that have yet to actually connect. So we're trying to make sure that we don't fumble the ball as we scale out.
Okay. Larry,
there we go.
What say you on that score, sir? That was, I have never seen slower play than this. So go ahead.
I know. I say 3. I like the path you're on, but you're not far enough down to actually say it's a touchdown yet. So 3.
This seems more like an Army-Navy thing. We're just
I
running
know.
back.
We're just going to grind this out,
triple
guys.
option time.
All right.
And
We're gonna go.
We have Heisman quarterbacks, and yet
we're going to quarter 2. Roger, coming back to you with the possession here, and Justin, I'm going to come to you for this question, sir. You've been marinating on this for a moment. So what do you got?
Don't bullshit me on this. I'm watching you both.
Yeah.
What's the best bad decision that you knew you were making? Like, oh, this is a really bad idea, but I'm going to do it. But it actually worked out in your favor in the long run. Short run, bad decision. And you may have not known it was a bad decision. I'll open up that bucket for you. So whose turn is it?
It's Raj. Go.
Raj.
Yeah.
Start the
As
clock.
far
Go.
as short-term bad decision, what I would say that we made was going with a software-based DSP in our UC engines, which short-term was like, we're trying to save space. But long-term, it's worked out very well for us because we've been able to standardize and reduce the footprint of our racks significantly, and also being able to scale out with Dante devices at that point. The long term, it's worked out well for us actually.
So basically you're like, man, I know this is a really bad idea, but let's try it. And then like, hey, this car didn't drive so bad.
That's kind of
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
our software-based DSP has actually worked out really well. It's been rock solid and no issues and problems with that.
All
Justin,
right.
score it, buddy. How's that feel to you?
I'll give him another touchdown. That was like a quick.
And the extra point.
Yeah, with the extra point?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
might as well. Let's go. So Joe,
Well,
Joe, what do you got?
we're just looking
I
for
was the
honesty
one-
here.
I was the one who designed that and put it on there. Like,
Okay,
And-
fine. He missed the extra point. -1.
no, so this goes all the way back to a bad decision that ended up working out right.
Yeah. So it worked
Good
out.
job, Joe. When you left, it worked out great.
Joe, here's some football scoring for him. I'm going to give Joe 1 point for that. So,
Yeah. So one
you just got
extra
an
point on the
extra
field
point.
goal.
yeah. I don't know how that works.
So
but
we
figure
moved
out.
it over. Okay, so now Joe.
Yeah, I wanted to be honest. I think most of my bad decisions come from not understanding the right team members to bring in. I know we had this conversation earlier, but coming into something where you feel you're going to be empowered. If I look and go, I've been here 26 months and we only have 10 rooms done, right? It's taken a lot longer. So feeling like everybody's going to jump on board and assuming that here's this great plan because I know it's great and I know it's going to be great. But you can't make those assumptions. And so there's had to be a lot of times where, that presentation didn't hit, where we had to pick up a lot of things get escalated up because you kind of rub someone the wrong way. If I had to do it over, it would be working and massaging the relationship sooner, not assuming we want to run faster, because it will happen. But building those alliances, getting the right players in place on the team, knowing you have those coaches and cheerleaders aligned before you go take the action is the one thing that I probably failed on. In the end, it worked because I had high level buy-in on this and I had leadership who came in and kind of saved the day. But those are things, not making the assumption that this crazy great thing is going to necessarily be what everyone will buy into.
Okay, so that's 6 points. Now for the extra point, Man, what was the question I had? I had a good one, and then you kept talking, and I forgot it.
I like the
I got
toddler
it.
scoring, though, so it was nice.
So the extra point is, if you were to rewind and massage those relationships, do you think you would have more than 10 rooms done?
No,
Wow.
because the 10 were done very strategically to know what we wanted to accomplish. But
Got
they
it.
would have gone easier.
Easier
Put a
for the 10.
bow on that. Like, what was the thing that you didn't actually get right? Was that just engagement and like clarity?
Yeah. So my boss has a great line that she said as we went through this, that people view your strategy through their strategy. And I go in thinking, here's my strategy, and going, oh, well, guess what? The CFO doesn't give a crap whether or not this is a cloud thing. What he cares about is, guess what? We have a lower cost of total ownership over the next 10 years when you're budgeting this out. And I don't lead with those lines. They're bullet points on a slide, 10 slides deep. So understanding that. And then I go, okay, I have housing, right? If people who've been to the campus, have been to the Luskin, we have a 5-star hotel on campus that we manage and my team runs. Well, guess what they care about? They care about SLAs. They care about customer satisfaction. They care about what someone fills out on the survey that gets sent 3 days later, right? So being too much into, oh, we're going to bring this, is going to be great. You're going to, and
Too
we're
much
thinking,
stuff talk. Yeah.
right? And so I think catering the message to each of those constituents is exactly what I would have done different. Could have been the same deck. I just need to message the deck differently.
Yeah, empathy for their situation. Love it.
That was the longest extra point with 7 penalties, but you still got it through somehow.
Hey, you know,
There's
was-
nothing worse than when the clock is stopped and there's penalties going on.
Yeah,
it just
but-
goes on forever.
It could have been
Yeah,
a 2-point. What if I went for a 2-point conversion?
but you didn't.
Oh,
But you didn't.
can't call it
Wait.
afterward.
So
All
is it halftime? Are we gonna
We're
have to cut halftime short?
We are at
Like,
we got a full
skip
show. We
the-
got a circus. We got to set
Okay.
up all kinds of stuff. So no,
Okay.
we're going into the halftime, and I don't know if this is going to be a bad decision that we're about to roll into, but we're somehow coming back to Joe right now in this next question. And Jamie, we're coming to you, sir. So what do you got to get going here in the third?
All right, let's step way back. We've had a lot of digital, we've had a lot of cloud, we've had a lot of computer, we've had a lot of this higher level, ground level. Who does better installation, you or him?
Go, Joe.
Actually, personally, the person itself or our teams?
Answer it
For fun?
however you please.
Personally.
Oh, Raj, absolutely, Raj. Okay, 100%. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I have blown up equipment by plugging like powered things, assuming that the power out of the Extron whatever thingy was the speakers. And I blew. Yes. Okay. Do not let me do installation. There's a reason I don't have CTSI. Okay. Keep me away from it. Leave me at strategy. Raj all day long. That's his. There you go.
I feel like that might be like an interception of sorts or something. Like something happened there on that drive.
Joe's
I'm
just
not
like,
really
here you
sure.
go, Raj.
I'll give you
You
7
take it.
for the deadpan, full-on honesty. Anybody come out in our industry and say, "No, I suck, bro," I'll give you the 2 extra too. I mean,
Oh,
the
that's
full
an
on,
eight
man.
pointer.
Wow.
You gave
That the strategy on this is like now. I'm
No,
really
no,
curious
it's-
how Raj responds to this now because
No.
I'm not sure how you play this. This is like a very interesting tactic.
Yeah, I don't know what you.
was that what
Raj is like, I agree.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It was just 8.
So I definitely, have more experience doing systems installation, but I will give Joe that he's very creative when it comes to doing installation. I've seen him do his work. and
Okay,
get his hands
Raj,
dirty
come on.
in
Diplomacy
podcasting.
to the side. Just come out and say it. I'm way better.
You are not scoring points here, man.
Yeah, this is like rainbow unicorn football or something.
Yeah,
like,
no,
let's
no,
massage
it's
the other
just-
team
I
a little
mean-
bit and feed them
He's
strawberries.
laying on the ground.
Because I
Kick
have
him.
more experience, but I think Joe's more creative.
All right,
I'm not sure what
well,
happened. What happened?
How do you score that? I don't even know who's
I'm-
scoring that.
I'm gonna.
Jamie
I'm
scored it,
only
but-
gonna give him 3 because he had every opportunity to completely kick a player when he was down, and he
Okay,
was
we
being
can-
nice.
Let's get a quick one in here. We got 1 minute left in this quarter. Chris, I'm coming to you. Give me a quick question that we can pack into this quarter. Coming back to Joe.
It ain't a quick question.
It's
but
never, it never is. Go ahead.
All right. What? So this one's going back over to Joe, right?
Yep.
All right, Joe. What is the weirdest space on campus that your team has turned into a functioning learning space?
They've only done 10. This is
know.
not a fair question.
Doesn't matter. That's the question.
Well,
We're coming back to Raj on this one too. So
yeah, I was going to say, let me go through our 10 into a functioning space. Well, how about this? One of them, we did do the taking it from, that it was a stepped into a sloped. It is the most crazy room we did. I have 10 screens through it. Every 3 rows has its own screen. No, it's not active. It's still
It's a room with too many
seating.
TVs.
The thing is crazy. I should send you a picture of it. It is probably the worst. That could easily be the stupid thing I did. I was high on something when we were doing our. It's a pilot. Okay, it's a pilot. Be creative. Go all out. But it was a room that had not been redone since 1994. Completely gutted it. It was kind of it was seated steps, but it had the old, it was definitely non-functional. It's a long room with no displays, nothing.
Bowling alley.
The chalkboards, the throw it up type of thing. And when we got in and we started doing the math on it, we realized if we put a screen large enough, you don't have a front room anymore. So that's why we had to start letting the math decide. It's a crazy looking room, 10 screens. Raj has been in it. It's the weirdest room, bolted that's now sloped. And so there was a question there somewhere. Oh, turn into an active. So here's the thing, though. People actually liked it. When I walked in, I'm like, oh, this was crazy. But it turns out the AV math worked.
See,
right?
that was
And
the
there was
answer
reason.
for quarter 2, I believe.
Yeah.
So we can now roll a marble from the back of the room to the front, where it used to actually have steps that used to go down.
Correct. And
Perfect.
here's the thing. It also went from 74 seats to 115 just in
cram more people in
redesigning and do it. So, which the registrar loves that because now we have another large lecture hall that we couldn't have booked before. So you get the kudos for actually increasing enrollment and increasing registrations and tuition by now having a larger space. So that was
Chris?
a win that we didn't know.
Score that, Chris.
I'm going to give him a safety.
You're gonna give a safety.
Safety.
A seat? Yeah.
Safety.
Who? For Raj?
Yeah.
You're giving Raj 2 points for that answer?
Yeah, there you go. I think we got this one in the bag because this question, we had a planetarium space that we converted into
I
an
know
auditorium.
exactly where Raj was going.
I know. And then I think the thing is, it was weird that the ground level is just, it's auditorium, but like 3 levels above that is empty. There's like wasted space. And it's like the weirdest room. And when you go upstairs to the top of the auditorium, you can look up and it's this cavernous area. So that was the weirdest space I can think of. We had some other ones during the pandemic, like the Shrine Auditorium.
Did you put anything in that cavernous weird space?
No,
I'm thinking
nothing,
sphere,
just
Raj.
empty.
Sphere.
Maybe
Sphere.
some clouds.
I know, that's the plan,
Right?
Let's see,
So what did you do in this planetarium? Was it just like a retrofit? Like did you
So
add
it was
AV to it?
built
What
as a
was the scope?
planetarium, but it was never actually used as one. And then they
they
wanted
didn't
to
open
use
the
it as
roof
an
or something?
auditorium. I have an idea where I think they wanted to build a planetarium, but I think they ran out of money, so they just covered it up and made an
Tarps.
auditorium. But now, to Jamie's point, we'll do the sphere in there.
I mean, in my mind, I'm like, cool. He like projected onto this round surface, and it was like
thinking,
all this
yeah.
mapping. Like that's what I believe. Don't tell me it's not that because that's what I'm scoring it as.
Thinking you could
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
meet
No,
IMAX.
so it is a huge dome where you can
Okay.
project up on top, but they're
Perfect.
not using it. They put a fake ceiling up and they put screens down.
Just
so
put a
it
grid in
looks-
there.
I know.
Get rid
put
of
a
this
grid in there.
unique
exactly.
architecture. Yeah.
But when you go upstairs and you look at it, it's like a cavernous area which you need to open up and just build a sphere, I guess.
So that's where everybody hangs out when they don't want to be seen. They just go up there. And just
It is,
set up
you know,
shop.
I have
Go up there
seen
and
some
smoke your
chairs there,
medicinal.
people hanging out. I think the facilities folks are in there.
Facilities management. Yeah, that's what
Up
they
there
have.
having a nap.
They have their meeting room up there, when they don't want it to be found, they'll go in there.
Okay, Chris, score that. What do you got there? Let's get out of this
I
quarter.
don't know. I figured with as many opportunities as there are at that campus, we would have had some weird space that used to be, the women's
for
restroom.
sure
or
like
something.
Was this like a 5-pointer?
A more.
I'm gonna give him 3 points.
3 points.
3
That's a good one.
points.
Yeah.
This is still a tight game. This is still anybody's game here. Going
We
into
both
this.
kind of failed Chris's question.
Yeah.
Where's
Well,
the-
okay.
You're supposed to convert like an old horse barn.
Examples
You
we have
filled in
had.
a pool.
We've had morgues
Old
on the
horse-
show. We've had
Morgues,
like
yep.
all kinds of stuff like that.
What did
Bathroom.
Planetarium, though.
bathrooms. I've done a room that was a bathroom twice They converted it to a different room, and then they made it back into a bathroom, and then I made it into a conference room.
Okay,
We
all
had
right.
the
all right.
anthropology one. That was
You know how old like we are so young. Our oldest buildings aren't even that old, right? Like
you guys are
there's
all young
we don't
children.
have
Well, that's-
like a barn. Really?
Daddy Warbucks shows up and builds a new building
We
every week.
we even have a barn.
The answer everybody wanted was like, oh, we had a strip club. Like that would have been the answer we wanted you guys to
We
say.
even
like,
had, we even had
Joe, do
Frank
you wanna
on
tell
from
us
Las
the
Vegas.
story
He couldn't even
about
come up
the-
with a strip club.
Yes, the strip club story. So
No,
what?
today.
It is no, but this goes to the integrator because so back when I was at Cal Baptist and they put it, the integrator comes in and puts in the code and all that, and I open it up and it has like it literally is called stripper pole 1, stripper pole 2, all of this back room
At Cal Baptist.
Yes, and
Copy
because they
paste.
just
Perfect.
yeah.
See, that
And
would have been a really good
that would have been a
time show.
touchdown.
Yeah,
But I'm representing UCLA right now, not Cal Baptist.
that's okay. Okay, well, we're going to get into the fourth here. And this, gents, you're not running anything here. You guys are throwing the ball. This is hurry-up offense. No room for thinking. I don't want to hear any of that shit. It's the first thing that comes to your mind. You say the answer when we come to you, all right? And so
It's 1 point.
it's
Bang.
1 point at a time per question until that clock stops. And when it stops, we're done, okay? So, guys, we're going to go. Larry, I'm coming to you first, so get ready, all right? So everybody pick their question. Larry, get us going. What is the first question, sir? Go.
First question is internal installations or external contractor?
Internal.
Dr. Clock. Internal.
Internal, both get a
Internal.
point.
Raj? Okay. Jamie.
Oh, what is it? Oh, zip ties or Velcro?
Velcro.
Velcro.
Okay. You guys can't say the same shit every time, okay?
I'm going to start taking points
The
away.
answer was
No.
diagonally cut.
Yes.
Zip ties at a 45 gets 2 points. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Justin. Go.
Yes.
Question.
Does your team manage and support the PCs?
Yes.
Gents. We talked
This
about
is going to go to overtime.
Yeah. No,
Wait,
it's
but
not.
Raj,
Joe's ahead.
Raj is BYOD. What PCs?
Like our computer.
Like he
Oh.
totally cheated. You don't even have.
Oh, there's a
PCs.
fight
We manage
going now.
computer lab, then we do shop
Are
for-
you
Okay,
cheating?
I guess. Okay, you do. You have computer labs. All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't count. All right, Chris,
He
what's your question?
doesn't get the point for that.
All right, little longer here, but what AV best practice do you violate continuously and knowingly?
There you go.
It's Joe.
We're
Go.
recording,
AVSF
right?
standards.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yes.
Come on, we all do it.
I think screen sizes
Yeah.
for us because our screen sizes are not appropriate for
Oh.
what it needs to be.
Okay, so Joe, you can't say screen size.
I can't. All right, I'll just say it. Ladder use.
Ladder
Oh.
use.
We'll take
The
it.
Are you
lack of
taking that? This
ladders.
is not a step and stepping on that step, sir?
Are you
have two people
walking
going
the
up the
ladder
same
across the room?
It has nothing to do with the ladder. It's the chair on top of the table. He's talking about.
I'm just gonna leave it as it is because I'm just. You can. There you go. We live in LA. People might wear flip flops often.
Oh,
Wait. So your internal installation crew also may or may not be wearing flip flops.
May or may not be.
All right then. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Who's going to come out of this one?
I
Go,
think
Jamie.
closing,
Go.
I think closing out this could be just a hair longer. So far this semester, most
where I was going.
ridiculous ticket you've gotten. This is closing it out. This is 3 points. Let's go. Most ridiculous ticket you've gotten.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
We need to
Raj,
get
go ahead.
So one of the most ridiculous ticket we got was somebody had a classical musical instrument that they wanted connected into our AV system, and this was this really unknown thing because we host
What?
music lessons.
Make my
some-
elbow work.
And then we're like, well, how are we going to connect it into the system? And they're adamant. So we had to figure out something in terms of how do we get that hooked up? You know what I'm saying?
What
Was
was
it
it? What was the
electric?
connection? Yeah.
Did you just shove a mic in it?
We
I would've
had to
just shoved a
bring
mic in it.
and connected it
Just-
with that. But it
Where
was-
does this mic go? There you go. You're done.
They had a full
Justin.
setup and everything, and I think that was the most ridiculous one for us this semester.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's not score this yet. I don't want to score it. I want to issue any
Okay.
points on this. I want to get Joe's retort here, and then the
So Joe could win outright,
It
or
was-
Raj could beat
yeah.
him.
It's
Let's
the
go.
best one gets a 3.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
I
So
think these are just changing
this was
rules
it.
here.
No, we're not. This is how it
This
always was.
In one of our new spaces, an email that got sent to the highest level of the university first, not to us. So it
So to
came
the
from
donors.
top down. And it was
chancellor. That's right.
there. I recognize that you are using illegal use of cameras in the classroom. The whole idea of you recording us is to collect our data and sell it, and you are using us as guinea pigs.
How much money have you made off that data?
It is not to actually have lecture capture. It is to sell the data and capture it, because that's what every one of the companies really has.
This is like tinfoil hat shit. Like somebody.
So that was a legit this quarter ticket that came in from
who
Was that from faculty, a student, or staff? Or
it was faculty.
Oh, it was faculty even?
Oh, it's faculty.
Ooh, wow.
All right, Mark.
If that's
you're
a
wearing
crazy
the
ticket,
stripes,
we
man.
get
You're
that, like,
calling this
weekly.
game.
I like that the craziness of that.
So I'm just curious
Go
before you
ahead.
score that.
Yeah.
You guys don't get that comment routinely from faculty?
No.
'Cause must be a Wyoming
heard that.
thing. We get that all the time.
I haven't
What, that
gotten it
we're
in a long time.
recording and
It's been
selling
several
data?
Yes.
years.
And selling
That is
data.
the
Their
only reason
intellectual property.
The
I've
only
never
reason
heard
the
that.
cameras and mics are there
I-
is to steal their intellectual
Different.
property.
IP is different. This was literally to use like their data
Well,
for tracking like that type of stuff, not
Well,
like
and also
who
because then we can
are.
record the lectures, we can just rebroadcast the lectures and fire the faculty. That comes up a lot too.
Yeah, I've heard that one. This one was a new twist on it. That I will say.
This
Very
is the
new.
cloud data version of that.
It's the cloud data thing, and I get that. So I'm going
If you
here.
had an on-prem server, that wouldn't happen.
Yes.
Private islands never goes anywhere.
But I think the thing I like about my answer here is that
Oh god.
there's
Think
something to
about
be
it.
said about just the level of obliviousness that sometimes people have when we start talking about digital interconnect. So I'm going to give the points to Raj. If somebody comes in with a classical instrument and says, "How do I make this digital?" and they have no idea, I actually think that is a weirder
hey,
request.
Raj,
Yep.
here's my didgeridoo. Can you attach this to the AV system, please?
3 points for Raj. 24-25 and a last second buzzer beater. USC comes out on top.
I do
See, I
like-
can't be upset about that because I'm an SC alum, and I really won by getting. But I really won the prize by getting chi. So
Oh,
All right.
shots fired.
Well, Chris, you
Man.
want to get us
Yeah,
out of here?
but we
What
all
do
kind of
we got?
like chi, so I guess it's all right.
Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna roll out here. We are way over time and overtime. So
Yeah.
there we are. Jamie,
Joe,
bring that
thank
slate
you.
back up.
Raj,
Longest show ever.
it has
No,
might
it's
have
not
been
even-
the
not
longest.
even close to
It's,
that,
it's pretty
but-
close.
Oh, it's not?
I
Wait, before we
cannot-
go, Joe, people want to get a
done
hold of you.
longer?
How they get a hold of you?
you can find me at Josiah Way on all the socials.
Raj, how people get a hold of you if they want to learn how to
Same
build
thing
on-prem
with,
cloud servers?
Raj.singh at usc.edu or Raj Singh USC and LinkedIn.
All right. There we go, guys. You made it. Congratulations. Another one
Yay,
in the
we
books.
did it.
Just barely.
Oh, this was good. This was really good.
Hey,
All right.
All right,
I
hold
need-
tight. What, Jamie?
I can't press the button. It
Hmm.
froze.
Oh, okay.
Somebody press the
Your
button.
entire interface froze?
His whole
Just
thing
that part, yes.
has gone. This,
Well,
this
I got to find where the heck it is now.
multi-dollar operation we have running over here
What,
right now.
what
It's
button?
in media assets and then under.
I want to press the
I'll
button.
find it. Where is it?
This is how this goes around here nowadays.
I got it.
It's
It's dead.
They don't give me access to buttons.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Yep, hang out.
Such good
We'll
sports.
we'll figure this out in a moment. This has been the AV SuperFriends Weekly Rivalry. And guess what, sports fans? We want you on the show. Got a big game coming up at your school? Maybe it's a local rivalry, a state showdown, or even one of those national grudge matches that splits households in half. If you've got the school pride, the technical chops, and just enough trash talk to back it up, we want to hear from you. Reach out to the AV SuperFriends and let us know your campus, your matchup, and why your AV and IT team deserves a spotlight. Whether it's cables versus connectors, servers versus switches, or just plain bragging rights, we'll put your rivalry on the big stage. So step up, Call your shot, and maybe you'll be the next feature on the AV SuperFriends Weekly Rivalry. Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.